Hello.
G'day.
I'm trying to be clever and see where the live video is so we can see your comments because we struggle looking at the screen. So I'm trying to
looking.
Why is it? Oh, no, that's not it.
No.
How come it hasn't told me that we're live? I'll just wait for a few of you to pop on. How are you?
Tag friends.
Yeah, don't worry about that.
Don't worry about that. All right.
Oh, there we go. It's just told me it's live, so we'll be able to see you. That's so weird. I'm seeing myself. Oh.
Turn it down.
Had a...
So there's a bit of a delay. Okay. And we've got Russell Osborne on. Hello.
That's you.
Wow.
All right, but we'll be able to see the comments now if they come up. So, guys, how to start your own camel business.
That's our topic for today.
It is our topic, and the reason it's our topic is because we really like supporting other people that really want to make something with camels, you know, make a dream come true of working with them full-time, part-time, casually, whatever. It's really important to us that we can support you on that. You know that we support you with your camel training and stuff like that, but some of you want to go that next step further and, you know, start your own business. So we're going to be talking about the history of our business and how that's played out for us as well, and the changes that we've made in our business. And also we're going to be, you know, talking about some of our biggest mistakes that we've made. And I've got some notes here. What else did, and yeah, we're just going to flow into, you know, what it could mean for you to have your own camel business, because it may not be exactly what you know, think it might be, you know, and we're not here to tell you what you can and can't do, but we're here to expand your mind a little bit more so that you can enjoy this process if you're considering it. So did you want to start with the history of our business?
Yeah, sure. Okay.
Which originally was your business.
Well, thanks, Tara. Yeah, you know how they do that on the news. Oh, thank you, Tara.
I'm just looking out for your comments on here, so don't mind me if I look
well, after I did that expedition across Australia, I wanted to be with my camels, but at the same time, of course, you know, we've all got to eat, and I thought, well, how can I be with the camels but also still earn a living? Okay, and I just thought, well, okay, we'll do the safari thing. That was something that I thought about doing, and I thought, well, even if I get one person on for the week, okay, that's replaced my salary, and that's good enough. And I was working with an organisation that allowed me to do that, so that was great. In that I went casual, and so of course, you know, I changed my circumstances, which I've done numerous times, to achieve the goals and dreams that I've wanted to do. I'm the one that had to change. And I think that's the big thing, is that, you know, if you're wanting to start your own business with camels, then understand that there are changes that you're going to have to make within yourself, your circumstances, whatever it is, for it to happen. It's not going to land on your lap, okay? You're the one that's going to have to make those changes. And we struggle with that on a daily basis, don't we? In many ways.
Yeah, not just in business, in all sorts of ways. That, you know, you create your own life and your own sense of being, I suppose.
Exactly. Yeah. So virtually at the start, it was more a hobby, and you know, I was able to have a week here, a week there, still being, you know, with those camels.
So am I correct to say, well, I think I'm not assuming, but just so it's clear, so when you finished your big trip, you know, with your camels, you know, you'd been living with them 24/7, and then to suddenly be cut off, it must have been a little bit of a shock. So
it was. I mean,
this was not only a service to others, but to yourself as well. Yeah,
absolutely. I mean, the first year after the journey, I didn't. The camels were out on the station, and they were just hanging out in the paddock, and occasionally I'd go and visit them, and occasionally I'd string them together and go for a bit of a walk, but
you wanted to connect with them.
It wasn't enough, you know, and I just wanted more time with the camels. So that's how come I actually started the business. Was I've got a freebie website happening. I threw some stuff together.
Some of them might have seen our original
I might
website.
have, yeah, for sure.
I'm laughing now. I mean, it was good and it served its purpose, but
Well, it did
things
serve
have changed since then.
It did serve its purpose, and I put some stuff up there, and sort of made it as flashy as I could at the time. Not really putting a great deal of thought and effort into it. But that first year,
You did a pretty good job for
But
it.
that first year, thanks. But that first year ended up with 7 clients. Okay.
And that's in a season though. That's like from what? That was
Easter through till end of August.
so for April. It was how many months?
April,
6 months?
May, June, July, August. So 5.
5.
Yeah.
4, 5.
Yeah. So I thought to myself, if I actually got a bit serious about this, 7 people, why couldn't that be 70 or 700? All right. And so I did actually start to take it seriously. Again, it was me that made the changes within myself. All right. It wasn't going to come to me it wasn't going to be thrown at me. It was me that had to make those changes.
And also you followed your inspired. Your inspired thoughts and stuff like that.
Absolutely.
You felt something within you, possibly even within your heart, and you're like, oh, I really feel like I can make something of this.
Well, yeah, and again, sort of what was in my heart was I wanted to share with people a bit of the experience that I had out there on that major expedition.
So this was your why.
That was my why.
Yeah.
All right, and your why is actually the driving force.
The most important thing.
The how can come later, but work out why it is that you're wanting to do something.
And the how does come. Just to butt in quickly, there's so many decisions we've made and right, we really want to do this and this is why, and we had no idea how it was going to happen. But I love what Richard Branson says about this, who's a successful entrepreneur, owns the Virgin Flight company and other Virgin stuff.
Lots of stuff here.
He says that, say yes. If something really speaks to you and you're like, I really want to do this, say yes now, figure out the why later. And you
the
truly...
why or the how?
Sorry, the how, yeah. Say yes to the why, figure out the how later on.
It's like, one of our friends, his business, he woke up one day and just said to his workers, okay, we're going to be accepting payment by Bitcoin. And he didn't know, and they didn't know, how do you do that? And how were they going to integrate that into the business? Their
Figure
business.
it out along the
And
way.
he did. He worked it out, and he had a team of people and got consultants, etc., etc. And Bitcoin made him quite wealthy.
And it's not even about the fact that the how steps. It's about you having an idea. Here's the idea over here, and you're bringing that idea into the world, making it more plausible, I suppose you could say. But, we didn't know everything to start with. We're still learning about business. We're still learning about camels. We're still we're not the be-all and end-alls. We don't know everything, and we'll never admit to knowing everything, because that's when your journey ends, is when you think you know everything. That's when it stops. That's when you become stagnant. That's when nothing moves. And that's why we're very avid learners. We're always learning about new approaches for business, for camels. And that's why we like to travel a lot with camels too, to different, overseas locations. We want to learn more about the culture and the camels and see what other people are doing and see how we can tweak that into, our style of handling camels and blah, blah, blah. So... I think...
And the other thing that I want to say about that, and before we continue on with that journey, is, I always find it quite amusing when you see advertisements that say things like, such and such a company since 1919.
Yeah. That's an old company.
Well, who cares?
Yeah.
It's what you can offer now, and what you're going to offer in the future. By your learnings, and And some people learn
So much has
faster.
changed, hasn't it?
Some people learn faster and gain skills much quicker than others and don't require, 30, 40 years of maybe repeating the same thing over 30 or 40 years. Who knows? But,
And we've got the internet
some
now.
people can actually gain a hold of, skills much faster than others because of their desire.
The
to
sponge,
gain.
being that sponge and absorbing new information.
Yeah, so
That's-
never hesitate, in trying it, and you don't have to say, look, I've been in business since 1977 or anything like that. Right? It doesn't matter.
You're that old.
It doesn't matter. The skills that you'll learn over the next few years, some people will gain a bucket full of skills, and other people will gain a truckload. And that's just their personalities or the amount of effort and time and concentration that they've put into it. So just basically it's a matter of, okay, where do you want to be and how much do you want to make those sacrifices? And they're not sacrifices. If you're learning something,
They're
that's not a
adjustments. I would say
sacrifice.
adjustments is a better
Well, I'd
word.
say it's gainful. You're gaining something every time you learn something, and every time you try something. And if you fail,
Nobody cares.
no one cares. No one cares.
And if they do, who cares about them caring? It really is no big deal.
No,
So,
because you'll learn from those mistakes.
yeah. And, there's this whole cliche of failing forward. And it is actually, because we've made mistakes. Oh, my God. Like I said, we are not perfect. We have made mistakes. Absolutely. In business, financial, clientele, all that stuff, we've made the mistakes. And we will continue to, but it's just the perspective on how you see those mistakes. So you could either go, I made this horrible mistake. I'm such a bad business person. This business isn't going to work. I might as well throw in the towel now and just let it ride out. And, this is all.
Or you can look on it as a hurdle. And
that it flexes your muscles. And that every time a challenge happens, what we've found in our business, we're flexing a muscle. Even if it's just a mental one, we're flexing a muscle that we know that next time, just think of the little challenges we used to have. Like now it's just a breeze. We're like, don't even worry about that. Like it's also known as a quality problem. So what used to be a problem is now a quality problem.
Well, look at when we started the beach rides. All right, now here's an example that, some people might be interested in as far as camels and developing their camel business. It might be something along the lines of rides, okay? Now, starting the beach rides for us, first of all, we had to run around and get the gear that was needed. And we had to sort out, what would work and what wouldn't work and, what would be best. And so there's a lot of conversation that went backwards and forwards, etc. And then there was, things like permits. Right, remember that? Yeah, and so it was dealing with the council and actually setting up a plan for them, and having the strategies and the do's and the don'ts, and a lot of paperwork.
And with that, a lot of people said, "Good luck with the council."
Oh yeah, they actually said good luck with the council, and the council were delighted.
We're like, we're cool with council.
Yeah.
We got something unique and we're going to tell them about it and they're going to freaking love it. That was our thought towards it. And if something does come up in a challenge, which they have, we'll just approach it when it comes.
And, because we were willing to say to the council, okay, look, this is what we'd like to do. Okay, this is our experience. This is what we've done to prepare. And we want to work with you, and to make this happen. Because we believe, number one, that it was good for the region. Secondly, it was good for the tourism of that region. And thirdly, it puts the council in a good light. And the council, like I said, were delighted, weren't they?
Yeah, it's kind of like you don't give them a yes or no option. It's like, well, this is a so yes. Like, here's all the reasons why it's a yes, sort of thing. So that was that.
And of course, they came with us. Okay, this paperwork, that paperwork, these fees, that fees, and who owns the land?
Oh,
that was a good one.
We got our permit taken off us at one stage because nobody knew who owned it, and it's just
owned the land, or was in management of the land.
Yeah,
There was
yeah.
confusion between departments.
There was.
Okay, and not only was the council, but
it's a long story.
if you have a look at public land in Australia, it's actually got several layers
It does.
that you have to go through, or several departments that are in management of this piece of land, and you have to go through each one.
But it is different for each council, so we can't advise on how to approach your council, but we're just saying
Work with them.
that you got to believe that you have a good thing to start with. And yeah, Russell said work with them. You believe that you have a good thing. Tell them all the reasons why it's a good thing, how it's going to help the local economy. And if it's a tourist town, how it's going to bring people in, blah, blah, blah. You know, you just list out
And
all
if it's
the
not a
pros.
tourist town, it's going to bring people in.
Yeah.
All right, because everyone wins.
Because you don't have to fulfill any, like, you're not making promises. You're just saying this is why it's good. You know, this is what my vision is, sort of thing. So anyway, do you want to end the story?
Yeah,
of
okay.
our history with our business.
So, several years went by and I focused in on it. And by the time that we met up with Tara and explained my idea of wanting to teach people and get information out there because I had a hard time initially of finding someone who was willing to teach. And there was information, little bits and bobs, out there. And some of it was conflicting and others it wasn't. And it was like doing my head in.
And it took you years, a lot longer because of that.
It did, that's right. And then when I found Phil G, good on you, mate. You saved me, really. You really did. But he put me on a pathway. Now, since being with Phil, of course, I've seen a lot of other things, as far as management of camels and handling of camels and training of camels and all the above. And plus also my own ideas, and that's how come we've ended up with what we've got today, and we're still building on it. All right, so then, so
we collaborated. I saw your vision and I'm like, I know how to do that. I know how to get that done. So we collaborated on that.
So when I met you, I think I'd got up to about 40 clients in the year. And
but you're still running a hobby, not a business.
I was still running the hobby. It wasn't a full-time business. That's right. So this is when you came on board with your skills, etc., which you're developing and you're learning and you're still doing so. And that's how come now we can actually do things like live broadcasts.
And we're passionate about helping camel people as well. So that's really the biggie.
Yeah.
So shall I go into
I suppose what we want to say at the end of that is that, it took a little step, initially. I mean, my first step was a thought. Okay, I want to get a herd of camels to walk across Australia. That was my first thought, my very first one. And from there's just been a series of steps. And
my first thought was actually, I want to train horses full-time for the rest of my life. And now I'm into camels. Camels never entered my sphere of thoughts. I never thought about riding them for fun. I never thought about anything camels until we by magnetic forces of the universal energies we met, and I'm just like, I love camels. I like you. And I really like his idea, so we just went with it from there. And now I love him, not like him. Or both, I should say.
Well, thank God for that.
But so that's the history of our business. But how has it evolved since then? So it started with the idea of doing camel treks out in the desert in Australia. I think you were doing 5 and 7 days at that time. You had already had experience of doing this sort of stuff, so it came easy to you.
Well, yeah, I mean, my outside of history of working with people in particular, I mean, we've done 15 years of teaching in primary, secondary and university. So I knew, organisation with people. But also I'd spent 6 years being a tour guide up in Kakadu National Park and up at the top end and over in the Kimberleys. So again, it was, that part of it was second nature for that side of the business.
It is second nature, for sure. Absolutely. So before we just dive into some of the biggest mistakes that we made and how we want to, help you, I really believe that the more that we share our stories and the mistakes that we made, the more that it becomes accessible for you to get to where you want to, which in this case might be starting your own camel business. It can be as easy as you want or as hard as you want.
Absolutely.
It's, I don't know, there's nothing more to say to that.
No.
It really is like that. It could be as easy as you want or as hard as you want. If you try to reinvent the wheel every time you do it, you know, it's a different story. You know, like, so Russell's just, you know, explained that he started a business from scratch. And some people think, well, I'll just buy into a camel business. I'll buy one that's already established. We know people have done that and they go through the same problems because they're a new business, right? So they've got a growth strategy. So it doesn't buying into another camel business, you know, doesn't just instantly guarantee any success, whether that be with the camels, financially, blah, blah, blah. So very important points. You want to be able to feed your animals. You want to be able to feed yourself and your family and all that sort of stuff. And also, I really think it's important to say that there is no shame in doing what you love and making money.
No, definitely not.
And the reason being, and this has taken us a while to get to this conclusion, the reason being that there should be no shame in making money, doing what you love, and what you're bloody well good at, is because when you make money, you know you're helping people, you know, even if that's giving them, you know, an enjoyment and an enjoyment experience, you know, walking down a beach or whatever. Or, you know, in this case, teaching, you know, we teach our courses, we charge for them and all that sort of stuff. I feel like, you know, there's this taboo around, oh, well, if you're into animals, then you shouldn't charge for your service because they're animals. Or, you know, it's just like veterinary practice, right? Like, people get so like, oh, the vets are so expensive, blah, blah, blah. And it's like
they've got overheads.
They've got overheads. Not only that, but they've done years and years of study, you know, and I think valuing people's experience is just paramount, or valuing people's gifts. You know, if you've got knowledge, if you've got camels and you want to walk them on the beach, or you want to, you know, do retreats with camels, or you want to do some sort of, you know, open farms or whatever it is, like, you deserve to get paid for it, because you're facilitating that, okay? It's no different to going to a 9-to-5 job. It's just you're working for somebody else. That's the only difference. So I just wanted to get that out of the way, because I feel like so taboo. It's like, oh, well, you know, yeah, obviously we're being criticized for charging for what we're doing. It's like, well, this is what we do. This is what we teach, or like, we want to help people.
That's right.
And when people invest in themselves, obviously they're more willing to be helped as well, which is another whole other subject.
I mean, what is our business? Information services. No, yeah, we've had safaris and, you know, we're doing beach rides, so that's, you know, pleasure and tourism and all that sort of thing, but our core business is information services. So by finding out the information and by, you know, sharing that information, okay, then, you know, that's our product. Okay, it's not like an ice cream shop's going to go out and hand out ice creams because they like ice creams.
That's actually really funny and a good point. I was just thinking about an ice cream store in town, thinking I wouldn't mind if they handed out ice cream. But, you know, you and also, you know, yeah, no, I'm not going to say that one because I feel like that's too limiting. But yeah, like, it's okay for you to be able to feed your animals, feed yourself, and, you know, heaven forbid, create a profit. Seriously. Like, you know, this is the way we see earning money, especially in doing what you love, is the more money you make, the more you can help others.
That's right.
And guess what you're going to do with your money? I guarantee I know what you're going to do with your money. You're going to put it towards causes you believe in. You're going to offer your service for free to, you know, a charity that needs camels for something, or you're going to want to buy a farm so you can rescue camels, or, you know, maybe you're just going to travel overseas and do something important for a women's right or men's rights.
The most important thing that you'll go ahead and do with your money is you'll feed yourself and your family.
And that is service too.
That's a service, that's right. And it's a service out of unconditional love.
But I was saying, like, the more money you make, when you've got that spare money, you can give more.
Totally.
And that's just at the core of we've had to come to terms. Is like, well, we can either sit here and think that we want to make change, but if we're charging for our services and we're able to pull a profit, we know where extra cash is going to go. Like we've got so many camel projects that we want to get underway in Australia, particularly. There's some big ones, political ones we want to battle, but we can't do it without money. You can't do that shit without money anymore. So it puts you in a really good position. So,
and even time. I mean, that's the thing. Is the time that we've spent in some of our fundraising or charitable exercises. That time, we could have easily have been out there doing a job and just keeping the money for our family and all that sort of thing, right? I think we recently what worked out was about $76,000 worth. If you want to put a dollar figure on it. $76,000 worth over the period of time that I've certainly been involved in Camels, but combined as well. That's
76,000 for what?
For charity.
Oh yes, yeah.
That we've actually done. And
some of
and we're not bragging about that. Don't get me wrong about this. Okay, but because we like doing that sort of thing, and there's reasons why we want to do these things. We believe that the world can be a better place, and it just requires a bit of effort. Could have kept that money and put it towards a deposit on the second house. We didn't. Right? So what? Big deal. I mean, we all end up in the box. Don't we?
So going back to it, you got to figure out your why, and with your why, like I just want to I want to be around camels all day, but go that next level, okay? Because trust us when we say it really cements it. We have a strong philanthropic or philanthropy value in our business, and we're getting towards achieving some of our goals, and we have achieved some of our goals overseas in India and Mongolia and things like that, and we want to do that again. But there's so much more we want to do, So,
and I think too, like also, there's another one that I want to mention here. If we hadn't have started this business, maybe and maybe not, but one of our clients. They're actually going into the charity business with camels. Now, whether or not, we've got a part in that, in their mindset, or not, but certainly we've helped them with the vehicle for how they're going to go about this. And so that's a ripple effect.
And they switched gears too. Originally they had a business model, and it was going to be the rides and bush and, inviting people to their property and education. And then something switched for them, and it was hard. And I know if you're listening to this, you know it's you. But it's for us. It was such an honor to see. It was a painful process to see, but it was an honor at the same time to see that switch. And they're going, actually, we have this higher purpose here. Like we thought we wanted to do this, but this is what we wanted to do up here, sort of thing. And that's exactly what we've done too, in a different way too. Like, we thought we wanted to do the Outback treks, and we did, and we have, and we're going to do them this year for the last time. But really what the core of us was saying, and in our hearts, is we want to, if you missed that, okay, we want to focus on the connection, and the connection that people can have with the camels, and obviously putting out there our trust-based camel training, that's what we believe in wholeheartedly, that's how the camels should be treated in this way. So your why, you got to get to your why. Now, also a really strong point that we want to make is that there is enough room in this world for everybody. There's enough, there's enough of the pie for everybody, even if there's a million different pies. But I think a big thing and a big fear that people have in business, especially the camel business, because the industry is quite small, is they think, well, I'm going to be taking away from somebody, or that person's going to take away from me if they do this, that, and the other. Like going back to these friends of ours / clients, we call you all the same, your friends, camel friends, that they wanted to be able to, what was it? I totally lost my train of thought.
Do the safari type things.
Yeah. But what was my point going to be?
Well, okay, so they were actually concerned that or we thought about it as well, I suppose. When we, of course, the thought crossed our mind, but quickly got out because we know that there's no such thing as competition.
Oh, that's what I was. Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
And
so they were going to do similar things to what we were going to do, but
they actually asked us, if I remember rightly, is that okay with you?
It's like, of course it's okay.
Get on with it. Come on, we're going to help you along the way because let's face it. As I've always said, I would love to see camel clubs everywhere. Mm-hmm. I'd love to see camels in paddocks, that people actually use on the weekends and that sort of thing.
This is not something that we want to keep small. We're like, well, first of all, in Australia, we've got so many bloody camels out in the wild that they need to be utilised. And the only way they're going to be utilised is for them to be more common. So, that alone isn't in the drive. But yeah, and I really do believe in this saying. And I think initially when I told you, you had to process it for a little while. But I said, there's no such thing as competition. It feels weird, doesn't it? Inside you, you're like, no, that's not true. There is always competition. But I'll tell you why there's no such thing as competition. Because nobody can be you.
That's it.
Nobody can be or do you. Okay, so you might be offering a similar service, for instance, beach rides or camel training or educational stuff, but nobody can be you. Nobody can present like you. Nobody can talk exactly the way that you talk, obviously, unless you're really trying to be a copycat. But ultimately, you can only be you. So,
and your creation is no one else's. All right, so if you've got your camel riding business right next door to another camel riding business in the same street, all right, let's use this as an example. Your creation is you. Oh, it's an expression of who you are and who you've become and who you're becoming. Let me give you an example of this. A street has 3 milk bars. Right, now, if you don't know what milk bars are because there's very few of them around nowadays.
It's a shop.
It's a little shop. It's a general store. 3 general stores, in the same street. What's going to make the difference is the creativity of the owners of those milk bars.
But also within that is if a milk bar puts fresh flowers every day out, okay, it's going to attract a certain kind of people that appreciate fresh flowers. But the next milk bar just wants to put a statue at the front of Buddha, for instance. Like, it will attract those kind of customers. And the next milk bar puts out
a Chevy engine.
Exactly. Parks his Chevy right out the front. It's going to attract a certain kind of customers. You see what we're saying? There's no such thing as competition. There is enough room in this world for everybody if you want to create a business. And in particular, we're talking about camel businesses. So you're not taking away from us if you start your own business. You're not taking away from, you're not taking away from yourself, of course, and you're not taking away from anybody else. And I suppose the most important thing is don't try to copy. You can do a similar thing. Obviously the most obvious one is treks, for instance. You can do that. But just don't copy.
How you do the treks is an expression
you
of you.
find your own niche. You find your own words to use. And we've had copycats and we've had to get legally involved and say, I'm sorry, but we are actually copyrighted and you can't just copy and paste words. It's just something that. But we understand, because a lot of people don't understand marketing. They don't understand that there are easy ways to do it. And marketing is one of my favorite things on the planet. And it's people are like, you're such a weirdo, but it really is. I love marketing because marketing to me is communication to other people. We're communicating now. I'm not marketing anything except for the fact that we care about you and your business idea. And we're here to help and support you. And if that means that it turns into something that you want to buy from us in order to help your journey, what's the problem there? No problem.
And talking about that sort of thing as well, investing in yourself.
Yes, that was going to be the next point.
Okay, yeah, I know that.
You read the notes.
No, I read you. Invest in yourself. Okay, if you're a blank sheet of paper, okay, you want to fill that up. You want to fill that blank sheet of paper up, and actually have to get another sheet of paper so that you can fill that up too with knowledge and skill and expertise.
But along with that is you don't have, like with this internet age that we live in, you don't have to reinvent the wheel anymore. You don't have to go out and, you know, work for free for people just to get experience and things like that.
There's people that are experienced and have been very successful that are willing to teach.
Yeah. And, you know, like Google it and you can find stuff, you know, how-tos even on YouTube.
Yeah.
Like there's lots of things. But I guess one of the biggest mistakes that we've made in our business is reinventing the wheel. Mm-hmm. We always think that, well, for me, maybe not so much you, but I'm like, right, well, you know, we want to get this project off the ground and how are we going to do this? All right, well, we're going to have to reinvent a system or to invent a system that works. Yet there's a system over there that, you know, Joe Blow has made that's going to work perfectly. So I could invest in that. And I'm a bit of a cheapskate in that way. I'm like, well, I'm sure I could figure this out. It would take me 3 months, but I'll figure it out.
No, you know, most people are like that.
Yeah.
Most people are like that.
And
that's why most people remain at a certain level.
But now, you know, I'm not shy in buying a program. Like, you know, every month I say to Russell, now this is a new program that I want to do because it's going to help us do this and progress our business this way and that way and the other way. And if you don't make investments into your business, like, and I'm not just talking about equipment. Equipment's one thing. Equipment you can use time and time again. But to invest in your mental knowledge on how to make your business success, that is, you could actually not have equipment and still have a successful business because your creative mind will just explode with all the possibilities and you're like, well, I don't really need that piece of equipment yet, but I could do this just to bring in a little bit of money and utilize the camels and blah, blah, blah.
I remember the first one that you came to me with. We were only just, a month into our relationship or something, or 2 months. It wasn't that long. And we were already started in this process of actually, you know, combining our knowledge and skills. And you said, oh, there's a course I want to do. Do you remember the first course?
I don't think it was that early, though. Was it the
video? It was pretty early, yeah. It was pretty early.
That was after Owen was born.
No.
Yeah, it was.
Couldn't have been.
I don't remember.
You sure?
Oh,
okay.
Yeah.
All right, so yeah.
A few months.
Quite a bit into it. But I remember when Tara came up to me and said, oh, no, I think we need a video course. I need to do photography, video, you know, how to do it properly. Mm. And I thought, well, what's there to know? What's it? Hey, point and shoot. That's what I've been taught. Yeah, she said, no, I need this course. I said, well, you know, if you think it's going to help, let's go for it. No problem. And I said, how much is this course? And it was a little bit more than just simply video. Wasn't it?
It was more. There was
more to it
well.
than that. Yeah. And I found out slowly because you dribbled in the information because you weren't sure how I was going to react at the price.
Yeah.
But when
Well,
Tara did tell me the price, I thought, well, you know, what the hell? You know, what the hell? What was I?
It was $8,000, guys.
What was I going to do with $8,000?
You know,
what was I going to do with $8,000?
But
deposit on a yacht?
Do you know what that helped us to do? Is to get videos like this out to you.
Yeah.
Like if you've seen our YouTube channel and how well that's set up, like
the information you gained was enormous.
That was not just the be all and end all. Like that was not the end of my learning journey. I'm like, okay, well I've got video down pat. What's next? Now I do want to say the biggest regret that I have in business, and I've been in business for over. Like running my own businesses, not just the camel business. It'd be about, probably 15 years in total. Like I've been in and out of other businesses. My biggest regret was probably about 8 years ago. I come to know of this really great mentor and life coach, Marie Forleo. And like I watched her free YouTube videos. She's so generous with them. She put in, you know, she's actually famous, and people are like, I've never heard of her. But in the online marketing world, she is famous, and she doesn't need any introduction to people who've been in business online for you know at all. She's a name. And she had this program called B School, which is business school, and she runs it every year. And for 8 years. Hang on, no, it's been 2 years. So for 6 years, I would just watch her free trainings, which are really good, by the way. And I'll link you to the free trainings because she's doing free trainings right at this minute. She's not doing, she only runs the free trainings once a year and then opens up her B school. So I'd watch her free trainings and then just dream of the fact of doing B school one day. And then like, I think a couple of years ago, it just shifted. I'm like, I've got to freaking do this now. I've been reinventing the wheel the whole time. And yet I know that she has all the answers. All my other all my other online business friends, they've all done it and they've freaking grown their business, heaps. And I just thought, I've just got to freaking do this. So I put in the money and it was only something like $1,500, I think. And I say only because the value is absolutely incredible. Like, I have to take a breath here because I did her B school, and I highly recommend it to you guys if you're considering any camel business. Like, it will change your game. And I did it and I implemented all the steps, like so simple steps. Like she puts it out like it's kind of like an idiot's guide, like people who say, well, I don't even know how to use a keyboard, so she puts it out really plain and simple. And I implemented those steps, and I think within about 3 months our revenue started to increase. And then I think that year it tripled. And then I think so, and then after that, it sort of just, I got a bit lazy there for a bit too. But I've noticed that all the steps that she recommended have just totally transformed our business. Oh, for sure. Like I'm forever in her debt. And I'm actually a partner, well, we're actually partners with her in the sense that, we promote when B schools open for you guys that do want to start your own camel business. And the reason we do this is from a place of helping. Russell and I went through this discussion of going, you know what we should do? Like we should do a Camel Biz school sort of thing, and teach everybody what we know about business and what we've learned and all that sort of stuff.
Don't have to reinvent the wheel.
And then I'm like, Tara, you're reinventing the wheel. There's a program already there ready for people to do, and you don't have to do it anymore. And in fact, Marie Foley's better at teaching it than
that's because she's got more experience, and also she's done the study and she's developed and she's continuously redeveloping.
So I didn't want
that's her business.
Yeah, exactly. So we didn't want to have to reinvent the wheel and go, well, we just want to do one exclusively for camels because all that information that I learned is only going to be from her anyway. So it was like, might as well just send people over there. And
things will change because the internet's changing all the time, and let her be the expert in that. That's how we view it now. She's the expert, and she comes out with another course. We're there. We're there.
Yeah, I've got all their courses.
Yeah, well, she might come out with new stuff because who knows what's going to happen with the internet. It's changing all the time. It's getting better and better. And the communication is getting better and better. And like right here, right now, hi Najir. Here we are talking on something that when I was growing up, and I'm not going to be revealing my age, but when I was growing up, it was Maxwell Smart with the Maxwell Smart with his shoe phone, and we thought, wow, what a great invention! But we haven't seen anyone actually have a shoe phone. Boy, gee, that's a gimmick. Could almost say.
I know. I'm sure someone's invented a shoe phone.
I haven't seen it, but
it's
anyway.
Probably a cover for your iPhone or something.
Yeah. But it was just so far out there that, he'd have a tie phone and an ear cuffs phone or, whatever it was, and it's all changed. And, things are changing so fast. And so Maria, she's Marie, I call her Maria.
You call anybody anything.
Maria, whatever. Yeah, semantics I'm not worried about. But yeah, she's the one for the expert of keeping up to date with business in, the changing environment. And why would we want to reinvent that wheel?
Well, we have, and it's painful, and it's definitely the hard road.
We don't need to do it.
No. So, guys, seriously, we've given you all this information about our history in the camel business, And, you know, I've just revealed, you know, the biggest regret that I did have was not reaching out sooner, not getting the support that we needed to grow our business. Like, because it really felt stuck, you know. And if you're new to Camel Business, this is the absolute most perfect opportunity for you. If I went back 15 years ago or 10 years ago, I would give myself this advice. And that's like, do B school or something like it. Not, you know, like Russell actually signed up to go back to TAFE, right? To do business, degree,
degree,
some sort of certificate and stuff like that. And then I came along and I'm just like, you don't need that. Anyway, we ended up paying for it, but he didn't do it. But like, this is the thing, like, is that you don't need another degree and you don't need another certificate or anything like that. You just need one person who's been there and, you know, knows how to do it and has done it, and, you know, focusing on getting support and mentoring from them.
Absolutely.
So there's
a couple of things I would do, you know,
what?
If I was to do it again, right? Number one, I'd get a web developer.
Oh, yeah.
Right, that'd be number one.
We got one now.
Second one, I mean, not only your skills with camels and all that sort of stuff, you know, I'd certainly, that's your product, you know. But I'd get a web developer. I would be getting a mentor, a business mentor, such as Marie
Folio.
Yeah, I didn't want to say Maria again because she'd pick on me. I would get myself a good accountant, like a really good accountant that understands fully what you're doing, and a really good bookkeeper, and
a house cleaner.
Yeah. Yeah.
Not kidding. That is actually the extent of our staff. Is that we invest in programs and go to mentors and stuff in the direction that we want to go to. Like this year, we want to blow up with like a membership platform sort of thing. So we're going to somebody who can teach us about that. And all this is online, by the way, so you don't even have to leave home. And, you know, we've got our accountant, we've got our bookkeeper, we've got a web developer that we need on occasions. You know, none of these staff are full time. We just pay them as we need. And we've got house cleaners that come every fortnight. And that just frees up energy for us.
And in the background, I suppose there's solicitor, if we need it. I mean, you know, if it's ever come across that sort of situation. And our mum. Everyone's got to have their mum.
Yeah.
But I mean, you know, essentially that's it.
Yeah.
And
it doesn't have to be.
And your community, all right, your community, those who are going to support you in your business, those that you know are going to put self-doubt in your mind. Guess what? They're not going to help you.
Not helpful.
All right. So yeah, your community is a big one too.
Yeah. Yeah. So, right, we'll wrap this up because we've gotten, like, I really hope we've given you a lot of value, but I really want you to check out Marie Folio's free business training series now. I can almost promise you they will blow your mind because I'm watching them again because I love her. Like, I love her stuff and how she teaches. Yeah, she's really incredible and she's very popular in the online space. So I suggest that you go back to go to her. I'll link it above or below, depending where you're watching. It could be on our blog or you'll see it in the sphere of this space on how you can go and check out her. So as I said, we're partners, which means we're affiliates. So if you watch the free training and you decide to join B School, we get a small percentage commission for recommending you. So, and this is coming from it's sort of like when a friend recommends a good pizza joint sort of thing. It's just a little reward you get, you know, like sometimes you get reward points when you go to freaking Woolies or whatever. It's just that we get a little bit of, you know, I want to be fully transparent with you so that you're aware that we get a bit of a commission for being your friends and recommending you this amazing product. And, you know that we believe in it. You've heard us talk here for a while about it. So I'll link Marie Folio's free business school training. Now I think she releases one video a week for the next few weeks, and it's enough just to get you thinking started. So I'm so excited for you. Like, I love creating new things. It's my thing. So I'm really, really excited. So go and check that out if you're interested in starting your own camel business, because Yeah, and also if you do decide to sign up and do the full B School program.
Put it this way also, someone did that for us.
What?
Someone did that for us.
I bought through a partner and an affiliate.
Because that's how they set up their business models.
Yeah.
Okay, these coaches.
Yeah.
And that's smart business. And I don't mind paying for smart business. I really don't. Because that information came my way. Somehow. And it's because of that avenue that we've managed to gain the rewards.
I'm forever in their debt, to be honest. I would have paid $10,000 for the course.
Well, if you knew how much I paid, well, you do know how much I paid to learn how to make a saddle.
Go and tell people.
I did end up with 8 saddles out of it, and yes, I did have a pile of friends helping me in the actual creation of those saddles. The cost, I suppose, was around about the $4,000 or $5,000, but the rest went in tuition.
Well, how much was it in total? $10,000 to learn how to build saddles and the materials as well.
That was the materials the materials, pizzas for everyone that helped build these saddles.
For the volunteers.
I gained those skills to be able to make saddles.
Yeah. And now you've got that knowledge, and he'll be passing on that knowledge through teaching an online program, which will be nowhere near that price. Not because we don't value it, because of the fact that we want to get it. We don't want to make saddles for people. We want to empower people to make saddles.
That's
themselves.
right. Once you make one saddle for yourself, I mean, this is the whole thing about business. Once you make one sale in your business, and you can make 100 or 1,000, you can tweak it and keep getting it better and better and better through education, learning, and making mistakes. And it's the same with those saddles. The first saddle, it's not exactly right, but that's okay. It will do, and you just keep getting better and better and better. There's more skills.
So the note that I want to finish on is that if you do end up doing the full Marie Folio B School program, the paid program, Russell and I will personally mentor you online here. Like we can do, depending, like if you're in Australia, obviously we can do video chat or whatever, but we will personally support you in that journey. It'll be part of the package, because there will be questions about business like insurances or, how do I prepare my camels for this or that, that obviously won't be covered in B School, because that's more the foundations of the business. But we will personally help you. So you'll need to reach out to us, or there'll probably be a way we can find you as well. If you do sign up to B School, we will support you through that for a certain period of time in order to help you, get off the ground, sort of thing. So we'll work it out for you, and we will definitely make sure we've got your back on it, because we want you out there with your camels, running the business that you want to run.
And making money.
And yes. Most important thing.
No, we don't necessarily.
And I'm not, when I say
just because we love it.
I'm not saying the most important thing. Well, I did say it's the most important thing, because it is, because it keeps the economy rolling. It keeps food in your mouth, in your camel's mouth, and everybody, and obviously if you throw a profit, you can extend that help to people less fortunate.
What's that saying? You serve, you deserve.
You serve, you deserve. Thank you so much for tuning in, guys. It was such a pleasure to be here with you today, and go and check out that link. Okay?
Absolutely.
Very good.
See you later.
Bye.